Just a quick introduction if you're not familiar, you're able to view the Staying In podcast live at twitch.tv/casually explained at 7 p.m. Pacific on Thursdays, as well as catch some other streams throughout the week. So make sure you check that out as well. Hello and welcome to the Staying In podcast number 3. I'm your host, Jamie, aka Casually Explained, and we are here today with the creator of the YouTube channel Tirzu, which we took a look at last week on the stream. This is Patrick, aka Patch. So welcome to the podcast, and thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having me. It's great to be here.
And so I gave a little bit of an introduction last week of how we met, but just for a quick recap, basically, as far as I remember, it was we were at VidCon, the most recent one in Anaheim. Well, the most recent American one in Anaheim, and I mean, I imagine you're still working with them, but you were working with like a sort of agency that was run by CGP Grey, Kurzgesagt, and Dave, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know if you saw this video that came out recently about that was like attacking Kurzgesagt.
Nope. Okay, we're getting right into the drama. Let's go. Let's do it, dude. Let's fucking get into it. We
don't have to delve into that.
Let's jump right into it, dude.
I was just gonna say, at the end of that video, he refers to this agency that I work with as the Smart YouTuber Mafia. So yeah, we met at a barbecue for the Smart YouTuber Mafia. I guess is what.
That's
how I would introduce ourselves.
That makes a lot of sense because I'm not part of them. But anyway, yeah. So basically, I mean, I thought it was really funny because I was just telling the story earlier about how when I went there and showed up, it was like this giant mansion that they rent, like a giant Airbnb that they rented, and I knocked on the front door, but it was just completely dead. And I was like, "Oh God, is this? Have I seen my last VidCon?" And then from right behind me, I hear this like the most like. So I just hear this voice is like, "Hey, are you looking for the barbecue?" And I was like, "Hey, are you CGP Grey?" And he's like, "Oh, yes, I am actually." And I was like, "Oh, hi, I'm James from Casually Explained." And he was like, "Oh, great. Well, come on back. I think people are in the back." And I was like, "Okay." So I walked in, and he kind of scuttled away to talk to other people, and then I met you there, and then we just kind of hung out, had some beers, and I got to meet all the people that you've already met, and we played some Smash, and I did very poorly, if I recall.
Oh, you did all right. I think you spiked me once, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's what matters. So that was
we'll
good.
Go with that.
So just related to that, are you still working with those guys and your all those people?
Yeah, they've been absolutely great. They got me some pretty solid brand deals.
Some good deals, dude. We'll get into those later because I was very impressed with the way you do your integration transitions in the videos. Yeah. So first of all, I guess, like, how do you feel working with guys like CGP Grey and Wendover and Kurzgesagt? Because I imagine, if you're a up and coming YouTuber and someone like that contacts you, you're like, holy shit, I'm getting contacted by the big boys. Is that sort of how you felt when they first interacted with you?
Yeah, I mean, you're totally right. It really is a dream come true to be working with. Like, these people are my personal heroes, honestly. Like, if you ask me who my top 10 celebrities were, they'd be YouTubers. I don't really care about like the mainstream, I don't know, actors, I guess.
What about
YouTubers? Like, I'm all about that.
What about people who occupy both niches, like Jablinski Games? Are you familiar with that?
Yes, he's absolutely killing it. I'm in love with that channel.
Okay.
He's doing great.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so we better we'll revisit that in a second, but we better start from the beginning, which is, of course, your history as a human being. Like, not starting from the womb, but we'll skip forward a little bit.
Okay, sure.
So I imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, but you well, first of all, how old are you?
Ooh, what would you guess?
I don't know, like 25.
Yeah, 24. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm the best, dude. I have met you, so it's not too hard. So for your college, you studied biology, is that right?
Yeah, actually, microbiology in particular is my major.
Okay, so did you finish your major?
Yeah, I graduated in 2017.
Okay, right. That's okay. So, and then like I thought the exciting part was the sort of job that you got into after the fact. And could you explain that a
Yeah,
little bit to
sure.
everyone?
Yeah, that was interesting. So right out of college, I was applying to jobs, and my initial plan was to get hired by this company called Covance, which is like a pharmaceutical company. I'd be doing some just classic lab work, testing like drugs and stuff.
Nice.
But turns out they didn't have any, not testing, pharmaceutical drugs.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
they didn't end up having any open spots for that. And so I just kept looking, and I came upon this company called Jack Link's Beef Jerky. And they hired me as their research
Hashtag
assistant.
sponsor.
Right. And so my job became, you're going to be the guy who helps design beef jerky flavors. That's what you're going to do.
Man. So I feel like this was the perfect segue because just earlier before the podcast, I was eating some teriyaki flavored Jack Link's beef jerky.
Dude, no kidding. I worked on that.
Did you actually?
Oh my gosh.
I was gonna ask you two questions, which is is it gonna kill me because of unlabeled ingredients, and B, did you help make that flavor?
So I don't actually, if it was the beef jerky, I didn't work on that one. I worked on like the sticks actually, kind of
Oh,
the Slim Jim sort of things.
don't know what that is,
Um,
but continue.
yeah. So one of the things we did was try to work with, so there's of course this big like gluten-free phase going on right now. And of course, teriyaki has gluten in it,
Yeah, right.
part of the soy sauce. And so we tried to like figure out a way, how can we get the gluten out of the soy sauce, but still not have it taste bad?
A
We went through
tricky
several
concept.
trials. I remember one test we accidentally like, it got like really, really sour for some reason. I think during the fermentation process, we like let it go too long because of some of the ingredients that we removed. It was really weird. I don't know. Food science is
Wait.
fast.
So quick question. Like, how much of this did you actually do, like, as a food scientist? Like, say the soy sauce. Like, you'd buy the soy sauce, right? You wouldn't be making the soy sauce.
Yeah, we would have to go through. Yeah, there's distributors that do all the spice work and everything.
So then, like,
Um,
are you like literally, are you in a lab or like a warehouse or like what are you sitting there with? Are you in a lab coat, like mixing ingredients and then like taking them to a different room to eat them, or like what's going on?
Sometimes, but it was really like the main place of business was just the plant, I guess is what you'd call it, factory, sort of.
I'm imagining like a Homer Simpson nuclear power plant type situation, but I feel like okay, I see what you're saying. So I guess we're okay. So going back a few steps, you got a job with Jack's Links as a food scientist, and
Yep.
so like do you feel that you got to use like your knowledge from your degree? Is that what you're really expecting to be getting into? And were you like, oh, this is pretty good. I could be doing this for the rest of my life.
I mean, it was definitely not what I was expecting to get into at all, but it was tangentially related, at least, to microbiology, um, because it's fermented meat, is
Hmm.
what jerky and those sort of shelf stable meat sticks and stuff are.
Hmm.
And so that does require knowledge of bacteria and their biochemistry and biological processes in order to figure out exactly how they're going to interact with the ingredients you put in with the meat, how they're going to affect the flavor consistency,
Right.
everything like that.
Did
And so there was a surprising amount of science in it. Yeah.
I imagine there would be. And like, did you find at a certain point that you had, like, how long did you work there?
I think it was 10 months. I was able to
Oh,
quit
okay.
pretty quickly because of YouTube,
Yeah. So,
but I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a great job. I really liked it.
oh, good. So during that 10 months, I was going to ask, did you have like a masterpiece that you made, like some special flavor or food science that you've created that you feel is like, yes, I put my name on this. This is, this is my
Um,
final work.
One of the ones that I was pretty psyched about was the jalapeno uh, jerky stick.
Oh,
That was pretty
shit.
good.
Wait,
Um,
is that something I could go buy right now if I wanted to?
if you want, dude, yeah, you
J-
could buy like a 20 pack on Amazon if you want.
Holy shit. Is your name written somewhere on the back in like small credit writing?
Absolutely not. That'd be awesome, though. I wish.
Damn. Okay. So what part of that did you actually do?
It was interesting. It was actually a production side issue. So jalapenos, of course, if you're working with gargantuan quantities of jalapenos, it tends to really, really sting the eyes when you're working with them.
That makes
and so
sense.
it was my job to like try to figure out a way to not have the floor workers die all the time. Not die, but they're just struggling, having to wear like hazmat suits.
You had to say not die. Oh god.
Yeah, I don't want to put Jacklings on blast. They're
legal reasons, yeah.
Right.
Damn. So did you figure it out, or are they still dropping dead to
we figured it out. During the time where we didn't figure it out, they were just wearing masks and they were fine. But eventually we figured it out. My solution that we tried was to basically just freeze it. We would put it in water and then freeze it, and then when it went through the grinder, it would not aerosolize as much. So that kind of worked. That worked for a while. I think what they ended up going with was one of the other solutions that we as a team came up with, meaning I can't take full credit for it, unfortunately.
Too bad.
Was they came up with some sort of like powdery oil to add to it that made it like kick together more and not get so dusty. I don't know. But anyways, that was a fun problem I solved. There was this one. Oh, I forgot this. This was one of my crowning like brain blast Jimmy Neutron moments. I was so proud of this.
Yeah.
So it was like one of the guys who worked in a different department, like one of the floor workers was absent one day. And so his replacement like called up to the food science office and was like, we have a problem. The vinegar that we're using to pickle some of our sausage keeps like frothing up. And we don't know what the deal is, but it's really slowing down production. The chat is great. Brain blast, got a blast.
Brain blast, got a blast.
What was I saying? So yeah, the vinegar was like acting really strange. And I came up with a theory. I was like, so I learned in like high school chemistry that if you add water to acid, so the mnemonic is do as you oughta and add acid to water.
Got him.
And if you do that, it's fine. If you do it the other way, you create a lot of heat, and that can, of course, cause like things to bubble and make a lot of things go wrong. And so I like, for some random reason, I remembered this, and I like told my boss. This is like when I was first starting out. I was like, I learned this one thing in high school, and I told him, and he like looked at me in disbelief for like 10 seconds, and then he like picked up the phone, and called the guy right back, and he's like, Patrick says that you're not following good chemical procedure. Switch the order in which you're adding the chemicals, or the vinegar and the water.
Oh my god!
And I was like, dang, you just laid down the law.
Dude, you just fucking saved the production. So it worked, I imagine.
Yeah, it did. And I was like, dang, I just transitioned myself from newbie to really, really smart guy.
Well, obviously you did, because you're just like, hey, what you got to do is actually, add it in this particular way, and that's why it's doing this. And they're like, okay, we'll call them up, make it happen. And you're like, yep, that's gonna do it. Did it work? And they're like, sure did. And you're like, all right, I'm gonna leave. I'm going to a different job now. making YouTube videos.
Definitely the most galaxy brain thing I've ever said in my entire life.
Nice. So so before we move on, I was gonna ask, are you interested like in cooking at all? Does that ever apply to? Does your food science experience apply to cooking at all, or any culinary endeavor?
Oh gosh, you would think so, right? But I'm still working on it. One of the things that being a YouTuber has enabled me to do is at least like be a little bit more healthy.
So what you're saying is collaborations with HelloFresh and Blue Apron.
I haven't actually done any of those yet.
Me neither, but
we're
all working on it.
That. Right.
So you don't really cook too much for yourself?
I've got a few recipes that I've like worked on. I've copied a few from Binging with Babish that turned out pretty solid.
Oh damn!
I brought some of his like.
So you're just eating Krabby Patties every day at the end of your hard shift.
Well, he did for his like Super Bowl episode. He did jalapeno poppers, and I recreated those, and those were like a smash hit at the party I went to. So I was proud of that. But no, I'm not really that big into cooking. Unfortunately.
So quick side note: those were Super Bowl jalapeno poppers. Was that what it was for?
Yeah.
Did you go to a Super Bowl party or a different type of party?
No, I went to a Super Bowl party.
Oh, okay, solid. I was expecting a Smash Bros party because that's what I would go to.
Believe me, you're absolutely right. I would totally prefer that. But
is what it is. Well, I agree with you. I've only just recently started cooking for myself a bit more. But I can understand. with that YouTube lifestyle, man, just eating out, going to 3 Michelin star restaurants every day, flying in the private chef. It's just how it is.
Of course.
Okay, so let me see. Oh, right. Okay, man, we are really making slow progress here. So, as far as my plan that I've written out on this Word document, but it's gonna be fine.
Okay.
So I was gonna ask. So then, after your sort of food science career, you said after 10 months you quit to become a YouTuber. Does that mean you started making YouTube videos like halfway through the job, like just after a few months?
It was actually before I even started my job. I started like right after I graduated college. I put out my first video, I think. Did you actually wait? I think maybe it was shortly after I started. But anyways, yeah, very, very shortly.
Okay. Did you get the idea for that from like r/outside?
Yeah, there was a few different things I kind of pulled inspiration from. And of course, you're probably aware, like one of your evolution videos was definitely part of that.
Nice. That's what I was waiting for. Now we can end the podcast.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Yeah. So,
well, it's like I got most of my inspiration from r/outside, so it's not.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. Yeah. So I went to r/outside and I saw that there was like no content being posted there, but the subreddit had like 300,000 subscribers. And I'm like, what the heck? This is a free audience, basically.
It is.
So I decided I should make a video for these guys. And that totally worked. It got like 40,000 hits in the first day. And I mean, I was like, okay, I guess I have something here. So I just kept turning out videos for them. And eventually, like, I got picked up on just r/videos in general, took off from there, and then started getting promoted within just YouTube proper. And that's when it like really matters.
Dude, I have almost exactly the same background. Was there a moment that you feel like you're like, oh, I've made it? Like, this is the big break?
Yeah, I think so. The first video that I made that really blew up was the one I made about cats, of course, because internet,
they love
of course,
it.
It's got to be cats. Yep. And so that's the first one that ever made it to like the top 10 of r/videos. I think it got to like number 6 or 7.
Nice.
And so at that point I was getting like, I don't know, 10,000 views an hour, which for me at the time was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. This is unprecedented. And so that's when I was like, dang, okay. Now I'm a YouTuber. I'm not just some chump with a channel.
It wasn't when you got that 100K subscriber plaque?
No, well, first of all, that took forever to arrive. So
yeah,
by that time, I was like already a well-established YouTuber.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten mine, so.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was actually, I ended up getting someone, I got someone else's. I got they sent me one and it was like a Spanish like furry channel or something. I don't want to say that. It was like an animation channel, but I just remember looking at it. I was like, wow, there's a lot of like My Little Pony and little characters like that. Good content though. I think he did a good job. So no disrespect to him. But then I wrote to YouTube and I was like, hey, I got the wrong thing. Can I get a new one? And they're like, oh, sure. And then they sent that guy a new one. So he ended up with 2, so I don't have one. But anyway.
Okay. You get your 1 million one at least?
Yeah, I did. I just wanted to complain. So thanks for indulging me in that one.
You got it, dude.
Okay, now let me see. Where were we? So, I'm talking about your rise to fame, rise to success. So, I kind of want to know a little bit more about that timeline. So, you started making the videos, and almost right away from the first one, you were getting like at least some decent viewership. You said 40,000 from like the first video. Is that right?
Yeah. So the first one got a pretty sizable view count. I think after 2 weeks or so, it had like 50K, which was really sweet. None of my other ones until like the cat one, I think made it past 20K. I think most of them hovered around 10K. Because like I had built like at least some bit of a subscriber base on YouTube at that point, just from r/outside. But still, for the most part, most of my views were coming from Reddit. They were all external. And so I couldn't really, hope for that much more until I had like a big break.
Right. And it really matters too, like when Reddit's your main source, it's like if you don't have any, because if you have a really good video and it's like on the front page, like you get those big views. But if it's not successful and Reddit doesn't like it, and it sticks around like, 0 upvotes or, less than 100 or something, then it's like you get no views. So back in those early days, it's pretty important, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. And so did you find that it was a fairly linear trend? Like you said, you had the cat one. Was that just sort of like the difference between, you know, slowly after like 5 or 6 videos, you've gotten up to like 100,000 subscribers or something, and then you have that video and it gets you like, you know, up to 300, or like what was that kind of
So
scale
about what
like?
happened, I think it was about the first. So I blew up in September, if I'm remembering correctly, and so I started my channel in July. So that was what, 3 months. So I probably made like 6 or 7 videos between like starting out and blowing up, and I think all that time it was a pretty linear path from 0 to 10,000 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
But then once like the cat video hit, I went from 10,000 to like 150,000 in a weekend,
Damn,
which was absolutely insane.
that is insane.
So yeah.
Did you feel like when you were making those first ones, did you feel the whole time you're like, oh shit, I'm onto something? Like I'm waiting for a big break, or you're like, okay, well this might be a 50 or 100,000 channel, or like what was your expectation for the channel?
So my initial expectation was that I was going to like cap out like hard limit at the very most was going to be like the sub count of r/outside, which was at the time
Mm.
2 or 300,000.
Hmm.
So I thought, okay, like I could have a sizable channel here, but I'm never going to like get past that. Which thankfully I was wrong, but yeah, that was my
Yeah,
initial impression.
gotcha. I feel like it's like in a way I can totally see like where you're coming from there. Like I kind of imagine someone like You Suck at Cooking, if you're familiar with him at all.
Yep.
He has like, you know, a cooking channel, and in a way you might think, well, God, it's, you know, little short 4 minute, 5 minute recipes. And, you know, the recipes aren't like, you know, world class level recipes. They're just kind of like general everyday cooking type things. And so you'd think like, oh, well, how many people would be interested in that? Maybe a few 100,000 if he does a good snappy job. But like the thing that really carries it for him is just like the comedy. Like they're just really funny, entertaining, good editing, good little special effects. And I feel like for you know, your version of that is not only is it a novel idea, but you do like a really good job. Like we were just watching some last week on stream, and like I was watching the goose one, and just like the way that like, because I hate geese, and like the way that you integrate like not only, you know, the Smash Bros references, the RuneScape references, like you throw in like a little, that little, you know, the sound that you get in RuneScape. I saw there was one video you had like poison damage and it was like green, and
Yep.
just like the way you implement all the like the real life clips as well, like it's just really entertaining, like in a way where if you were just doing a documentary and there wasn't like a tier list thing, if you actually just gave information and presented it that way, I think it would be, you know, still really popular. So I feel like it's like that culmination of all those things that made it as successful it is.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah, I think kind of going back to what you were asking about, like what my, I guess, inspirations and stuff were.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you mentioned documentaries. Of course, I grew up watching all the BBC, National Geographic stuff. I think one of the ones that was really like on my mind when I wanted to make the channel was there's this one from Animal Planet, and it's called The Most Extreme.
Oh yeah, that's a good shit.
And oh, you've seen that? Okay,
Oh yeah.
so that's like a countdown show where
Mm-hmm.
they kind of rate animals from just from 1 to 10. So there's no like video game aspect to it, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still doing like the countdown aspect. And so I thought I could kind of do that. But also I was like in college, I watched way too many like montage parodies.
Damn,
Um,
those are good too.
and so I just loved those. And so I thought like combining the aspects that they do with that in montage parodies, where they're just throwing in as many dumb references as they can to random video games or memes or whatever, and putting those on documentaries, I thought would work really well.
Well, also
Um,
combining it, I feel, with your actual, you know, sort of microbiology knowledge. I feel like you know a lot about taxonomy to begin with and that kind of stuff.
yeah, you do have to study a lot of taxonomy and not only microbiology, but I also took a fair bit of entomology in college too, which is insects.
Mm.
And so entomologists are very particular about their classifications. Fun fact for you.
So,
So,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, like so they really push for memorizing all of the methods for differentiating what a species is and which
Mm.
order or class a given insect will belong to. And so
So,
yeah, I was very used to like that mentality. And even like when I was taking those classes, I kind of would like make mental notes of like, oh, okay, so this insect is different from this one because of this ability that it has, and that's why it's in this group. And so like I guess even before I thought to have the idea of a channel, I sort of was doing that already?
It was you were you had it planted that seed in your head, and it was
I think so.
slowly building over time. I was gonna say I think the perfect transition is to your top rated post on r/murdered by words.
God, man, I can never escape that.
You can't escape it, dude. It's so fucking good. I'm gonna read it so everyone knows what we're talking about.
All right, go ahead.
So basically, this is a post on r/murdered by words that has like 45,000 upvotes or something like that, which is a person commented on Tirzu's video on the dog tier list, and he said, "Foxes are lupine, not canine. Completely different species. The problem with putting more effort into sounding authoritative than being accurate is, semicolon, you reveal that you are an idiot." And then Tirzu said, "Canine is the layman term for all animals in the family Canidae, which includes every animal on the list plus a few more, like the bush dog and the raccoon dog. The problem with putting more effort into sounding smug than being accurate is you reveal that you're not only an idiot, but also a jerk. Oh, and furthermore, lupine means wolf-like, not fox-like. The term you are looking for is vulpine. Foxes are both vulpine and canine, but they are distinctly not lupine." Fucking easy claps, dude. That's man. That's how good did it feel when someone was like, "Hey, Tirzu, did you see this post on Murdered by Words?" And you're on the front page.
Oh man, I mean, like in some way, I kind of felt bad because I didn't. I just kind of, but at the same time, he definitely gave me a meatball. Like there was so many things wrong. Like if it was just one of those things, I would have probably let it slide or just like corrected him in a nice way and be like, buzz off, it's fine. But like there was just so much to go off of.
Dude, everything. Really, oh my god!
Like if you've seen The Last Jedi, where Luke Skywalker says, "Amazing, every single thing you just said was wrong." Like that is the epitome of that right there.
Dude, it really is, man. I have to say, it's so he gave you a meatball. You fucking sauced him up, dude. Like, right. I'm looking at this. Like, not only is he just like so like r/I am very smart. He's like misusing complicated grammar. He's just saying things that are completely incorrect. He's getting it from his knowledge of Pokemon lore. It just, oh my god, this just is just so fantastic, dude. I like that. I also like your response. Like people can't see it, but it's like perfectly. It's like a perfectly sandwiched. Like each sentence that you wrote is like its own separate paragraph, which makes it like even more perfect because it's just kind of like, here is me, nicely correcting what you're saying. Here is me giving you the rebuttal, and here is me absolutely just burying you 6 feet under the ground. You fucking idiot.
That's it. This man's whole career.
Fucking loved it, dude. Fantastic. All right, so okay, we gotta move on from that. That was really good.
Okay, sure.
That must so satisfying.
I'm glad you liked it.
So this is a question that we touched on before the stream started, but I'm always interested in this because I've kind of looked at a lot of people's different schedules, which is I've been kind of wondering for you. The thing that's interesting, of course, going from a job that's like an 8-hour a day job or however many hours you may have worked, is going to a job where you're basically making your own hours. You can work as many or as few as you would like. And so you have to be able to come up with your own schedule and stick to it or not stick to it. Or, because a lot of people who are in sort of like a creative field, they'll work when they feel inspired. Some people stick to a strict, few hour schedule or set word goals or whatever it might be. I was kind of wondering what your day-to-day might look like as far as your work schedule and then time for recreation, if that exists.
Sure. So my goal for the channel is to put out a video every 2 weeks. Sometimes it's a little more, but yeah, that's my target. Mm-hmm. And so the first week of those 2 weeks is spent just researching and writing. And so what I'll do is I'll spend most of the day, honestly, like reading Wikipedia or more like quote, reliable sources, even though Wikipedia is completely reliable, almost
pretty
totally
good. I mean, like either it's not Wikipedia, you just look at what Wikipedia got as a source, and then
exactly
close enough. That's high school essays, university essays in a nutshell.
Yeah, and there's been a few times where I found something on Wikipedia that I couldn't verify elsewhere that I ended up just not including. There was one, I think the Wikipedia claims that the secretary bird, which is the bird that I put in my birds of prey tier list, is immune to the venom of snakes. And I couldn't find that anywhere else. And the people that I asked couldn't verify it. So I left it out of the video. But I think that's the only time that I've had a problem with Wikipedia. But anyways, so yeah, reading Wikipedia and other sources, watching BBC and National Geographic, Animal Planet documentaries. First of all, to find small clips that I can take and meme up a little bit, and also just to make sure my info is correct. Sometimes I've gone on like Twitter and asked if any experts happen to be following me, like, hey, DM me, I have some questions about fish or birds or
That's
something
super
like
cool.
that.
That's a good resource to have.
Yeah, I've been surprised how effective it's been. So that's been great.
And then
Anyways.
after the first week, you do your research, you do your writing, you get that stuff settled down, and then you work on the videos over the next week,
Yeah, so I'll try to record either on the weekend or the Monday of the following week, and then it's just a straight up grind. Put out the video. I usually work from I think I try to be done by Thursday of the second week, so that I can send it to the sponsor and they can approve it and everything, and then I can like have my patrons review it and say if they liked it or if there's anything I need to fix. It's really great because they catch a lot of issues that I like, mistakes that I make, like whether it's a spelling error or like some random like loose frame or something like that.
That's a good idea. I don't ever do that. I'm ride or die, dude.
That's so brave, honestly.
Live and die on my rough drafts, dude. I'm out here.
That's so brave, because like when I was first starting out, there were so many times where I screw up the audio. Like if you go back and watch my first few videos, the audio is just god awful, and like a lot of it is really easy fixes that I just didn't do because I didn't think about it. But if I had gotten feedback beforehand, been a huge blessing. My patrons have really helped me out.
Yeah, I feel like that makes a lot of sense. Like getting that information ahead of time. Like I always say, like when people are starting out YouTube videos and they're trying to like tell jokes, like, you know, just like ask yourself, like, how would you feel telling this in front of your friends, and then go tell it in front of your friends and see if they think it's funny. You know, I feel like that's like a sample version of that for like, you know, the technical stuff, right?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So that's like the week to week, what that looks like. In terms of the day to day.
Oh, that's where I was going. Yeah, hit me up, dude. What's that?
Sure. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's just an absolute mess.
You wake up in the morning, you're on the yacht, your clothes are all over the place, champagne bottles all around the floor. You can't roll over because there's too many models in your bed.
Sadly, not quite there yet.
That's 10 million subscribers, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Once I have the diamond button, I'll be like, dang.
Damn.
There we go. But no, my schedule, like my sleep schedule especially, I'll probably most nights stay up till like 2 a.m. and wake up at like 11 or something like that, 10 or 11. But then like so this is one thing that's been great about being able to form my own schedule, is that it's been much easier and much more consistent for me to be able to like exercise. It's one thing I've never been getting into doing ever throughout college. I was really bad about it. Thankfully, I had to bike everywhere, so I was able to stay in shape like that. But once I got a job at Jack Links, I could definitely tell, like, oh man, if I like keep living like I'm living right now, it's probably not going to look too good for me in a bit.
Well, I feel like you're looking pretty good when I saw you. I feel like you're at Jack Links. You can get that protein, hit up the gym.
That's true.
Make those gains. So it's like so if you're waking up at 11, are you know waking up having some breakfast and then you're going to the gym right away, or are you going for a run, or what are you getting up to?
Yeah, I'll have some breakfast. What I was going to say is that like on the days, what I did is assistant, and then so their schedule is actually like bright and early at like 9 a.m. Ooh, so early, right? And so that's like my sleep schedule on workout days is like you're going to get up early, but my sleep schedule on non-workout days is you're going to sleep until almost noon and look like a total slob.
Fucking nice.
So that's the YouTube life, I guess.
So you say on days where you wake up, you exercise, and then you come back. I mean, are you pretty good at getting down to work, or do you just kind of chill, or you procrastinate a lot, or like how many hours a day would you be working on your stuff, and then what would you do after that?
I think I'm pretty good at getting down to work. I've definitely distracted myself a lot playing random one-off video games. Like I'll quick hop on to like play one round of Magic Arena or something. I'm like, I'll say I'm taking a break, but really I'm just goofing off.
Yeah, no, I respect it though.
Yeah, so I think I'm all right. I think during the research weeks, it's a lot easier for me to goof off. Once it's like crunch time, once it's week 2, I'm pretty good at buckling down and just getting the video made.
Does your agency hold you accountable at all, or you just feel like you want to get the video out every 2 weeks for your patrons and your viewers?
It's mostly for like a self, like for my own sanity, just like, also to keep my patrons happy. I think the only thing my agency like really would come after me for, they've never, like I've missed deadlines before and they've never even like asked me about it. So it's been totally fine. But I think sponsors do get kind of salty if you aren't at least within the same calendar month.
Right.
And so like if I have to get 2 videos done a month, basically, if it's every 2 weeks, it equals out to about 2 months, sometimes 3. But like if I take too long on the first one of that month, I'm going to have to rush the second one. And I definitely don't want to do that. So that kind of keeps me, at least motivates me to keep it close to the 2-week deadline.
Yeah, I can definitely see. I got to say, like, I feel like related to that, I've always been surprised too. Like, even times whenever I'm working with a sponsor and I like barely make a deadline, or I get it in like a day late and I feel really guilty, they're always like, "Oh no, that's fine, that's great." And I've started to ask myself like, what would Bill Wirtz do? And like I'm imagining someone like Bill Wirtz like getting it in like 2 months later, being like, "It wasn't done yet, it wasn't perfect," and you're like, and they're just like, they just have to deal. My God, Bill. Well, you can't keep doing this. Good thing you make the best content on the internet. One time we're going to allow it.
His classic line, "How would I do anyway?"
Exactly. So I feel like, I think sponsors are really used to stuff not coming in right on time. So I feel like even being on schedule is being like way ahead of the expectation. At least I hope so.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, before I ask you that, one sec. I'm just seeing if this is a question that was asked by someone in the Discord, because I want to give them credit if I'm doing the right thing. But I was going to ask, because you, similar to me, as far as I know, have not done like a face reveal. People don't really know what you look like. Have you been recognized in the streets, in public, in a convention or anything from, say, first of all, from your voice alone, and then maybe from like, how do you feel about people recognize you, maybe based on context or whatever it is?
Okay, so about the voice thing, I've never had anyone recognize me, like say, "Oh, hey, you kind of sound like that Tears You guy from YouTube." But I have had people say, "Hey, that Tears You guy kind of sounds like my cousin Patrick. What's going on here?"
Yeah. Wow.
So that's definitely happened. Yeah. I have been recognized a few times while I'm like wearing my merch.
Dude, is that how you get sales? I haven't been doing that. That's a great idea.
Dude, that's the only way. That's actually the only way you'll ever make any sales at doing for merch is repping it yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you.
Oh, my friend Sam wore my merch once, but it was to my house. So
well, there you go.
I just like, quick side note, I like right now, I recently told the person who cuts my hair, I was like, yeah, I have this YouTube channel. Maybe I told her like a year ago or something. And then she's recently become a fan, and then I was like, "Oh, I'll have to bring you like some merch." And then so I brought her a Casually Explained mug, and she was really, really happy. So I was like, "This is it. I am now advertising with my hairdressing place."
Dude, that's awesome.
We're getting sales, dude. We're getting sales, dude. But okay, sorry to interrupt. Yeah,
I should give my personal trainer a T-shirt or something.
Dude, you 100% should. You 100% should. But sorry, you're saying.
Oh, sure, yeah. So about getting recognized. So I've had it happen a few times. I wore my shirt like basically all throughout VidCon, because like I'm basically there to meet other YouTubers and I want them to know who I am. So, dude, a little bit easier to break the ice.
Why don't you just wear your fucking subscriber count on your shirt, dude?
Hashtag flex.
Nice,
man. Yeah. So that was fine. I think there's only been a few other times that I've been recognized. One time I was literally just eating Culver's. I was ordering at the cash register, and the guy's like, "Oh, I really like your shirt." And I'm like, "Oh, you know who this is?" He's like, "Yeah, I love that channel." And like all my friends are like standing right behind me, just like waiting for me to drop this bombshell on him that he's talking his favorite YouTuber.
Damn. So did you?
And so I told him, I'm like, "Yo, that's actually me." And he like just stops dead. Like, "What? You kidding?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not joking." I like pulled out my business card. I'm like, dude, here you
Dude,
go.
your
Like,
fucking
it's
Yu-Gi-Oh trap card,
exactly,
business
dude.
card.
The ultimate trap card.
Damn. Wow.
And so he like froze, and then he like ran to the cash register and printed off a blank receipt and was like, "Can you sign this?" And I'm like, "Oh shoot, I didn't like think of anything in advance. If I'm gonna sign autographs, I have to like think of something funny, right? That's what people do."
Yeah.
But instead, I just like wrote "Tears Are Gone," and that was it. I felt so lame because I didn't have anything ready to go.
Damn.
But yeah, that's the first autograph I ever signed, so I felt pretty proud of that.
Wow. Did he call you back?
He posted on Twitter. I
Damn.
tweeted at him like, "Yo, thanks for the vanilla shake. It was really good."
Holy shit. That's
Like,
fantastic.
no problem, dude.
What dude? That's great. Do you plan on doing like a face reveal or like doing more of that type of maybe public interaction?
Yeah, so one of the things I've been doing is getting pretty
Socializing,
involved
as
in,
they
like,
call it.
I guess, yeah, do a little bit of that, if they twist my arm.
Nice.
But I've been fairly involved in the Smash scene. I went to Frostbite 2019. That was in mid-February. And so I got to meet quite a few fans there. And so now they know what I look like. And if anyone's like super ultra curious, I guess you can go search like my mentions at that time and you'll find people tweeting at me with pictures of myself.
I'm doing it.
All right.
I'll save this for later. Okay, great.
And so let's see. Yeah, Frostbite was pretty cool. For the most part, interacting with fans was great. There was one. I think you'll like this funny story. There was this one dude that comes up to me, and he's like, "Bro, I love your content. Would you mind? Could I give you a hug?" I'm like, "Yeah, totally. It's fine." And so he proceeds to like, and he's this huge dude. I'm like, "Oh, okay, it's fine. Probably like super like chill, gentle." I was wrong. Dude proceeds to like pick me up and squeeze me to like his absolute hardest capacity. I'm like,
oh my God.
Like I can feel my back cracking, like the air is leaving my lungs, and I'm like dying. He sets me down. I'm like doing my best to not faint.
Oh my
in front of him, in front of everybody. I'm like, dude, why would you do that? That was so
Holy
not
shit.
cool. That was so not cash money of you, bro. And he was like, and he was like really proud. He was like, "No, dude, my hugs are great. They called me the chiropractor." And I used to give people hugs all the time. They would like come to me and ask me to crack their back for me. And I'm like, dude, I didn't ask you that. Like, you can't just be doing that.
Oh, shit. Free service, dude. Free trial. I'm trying to think, like, is that like the snake grab? Like
it felt like that, man.
Holy shit. Puts you to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. I felt like going to sleep, dude. I was really, really winded after that.
Oh my God. So, do you have a bodyguard now?
Dude, Frostbite needs to step up their game when it comes to that. Shit. No, actually, their security was fine. They were like checking bags at the door, so they were good.
Nice.
The dude actually came back later. I could tell that he like noticed that I was annoyed
that you were walking with a limp.
Yeah, exactly. That I'm like trying to not pass out.
Oh man!
In front of all my fans.
Oh man.
And so he like came back later and was like, "Bro, do you want a slice of pizza?" And I'm like, "Absolutely, dude. Give me that."
Damn. Dude, you friends now.
So we're square, dude. If you're out, bro, we're square. It's fine. I respect it. But don't do that to people.
Holy shit! Yeah, that's wild. I mean, that's kind of fun though. I mean, well, sort of.
Yeah, I think it's a funny story. Like, I'm happy to tell it now. It's fine. He didn't actually hurt me. Like,
now that you've dealt with the trauma, you can tell the story.
Yeah, it was a little lightheaded for about 10 minutes, but
So okay, so then. Are you planning on doing? I mean, you're planning on doing more of that kind of stuff. I think that's kind of fun. Do you think you'll ever be in front of the camera for Tuesday?
Oh, right. So there's a few ideas I had for that. I think if I'm gonna do it, I'm not just gonna like pop up and be like, "Hey, thanks for 1 million subscribers. Here's what I look like. Peace." But I think there's a few cool ideas that I could kind of do.
Sex tape.
Oh yeah, that's the top of the list. But number 2 is gonna be.
Nice.
I would do like. A tour, like almost like a let's play parody of myself, like being me, and like just like have myself on camera, like not talking to the camera, but still have the voiceover of me do my regular shtick, but have it be me and like discuss my actions in terms of like the video game thing.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I thought that could be kind of funny. Be like, "Oh, this is my build. He's pretty scrawny white dude, but he does his best."
Dude, you've been going to the gym recently, dude. Eating that beef jerky. I don't know.
Exactly. So I'm like training my strength level, trying to get it to a little bit higher so I can do more damage in combat.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. Are you gonna do that?
Kind of fun. I've tried a few times to. I just wasn't really like happy with the results, but I'm gonna keep trying and see if I can come up with something. Because just filming in general, I'm not very good at cinematography yet.
Gotcha. You need Binging with
All
Babish
that work
for that.
is exactly like all the work has been done for me when it comes to that kind of stuff on my channel already.
Gotcha.
Just using stock footage, so like I definitely have a long way to go when it comes to actually doing filming myself.
That sounds fun. I mean, I feel like I've been thinking of doing like a few small things like that. I don't know if you heard of the channel Buttered Side Down that does videos that are like 4-minute little comedy skits, but they have incredibly good filming and editing. But
Dude, I'm gonna have to look these guys up. No, I don't think I've heard.
They're
of them.
great. They've recently been blowing up actually, and I've been kind of wanting to collaborate with them. And they're like, oh, maybe, but like, dude, I feel like if you do something with them, like this is a bit bit of a reach, but do something in their style, I think it would fit perfectly with what you want to do. Because I was even thinking of doing something sort of like that, and I feel like if you take a look at them, you're gonna get like hella inspiration for what you're saying. So just a quick.
That's a good idea. Yeah, definitely. I'll check them out. There's one other thing that I tried to do. I did it this past summer, and I'm gonna start it up again this year. Is just a stream. So my plan was to do an actual wildlife stream where I like have a body cam and it's me. Like my plan was to catch insects and teach entomology, and have like a little like almost Pokedex sort of thing where I like, oh, I caught this one. We write it down.
Holy shit!
Here's its like stats and everything.
That's
there's
so
been a few,
cool.
like, dude, thanks. I'm hoping it works. I ran into quite a few issues with it this past summer because I was basically just filming from my phone and using like just the network. Like
right,
like 4G.
Yeah.
So like streaming from 4G, not optimal by any stretch.
I didn't think of that. That's a problem.
Yeah. And then also it was like my phone would straight up overheat because it was hot out, because I'm doing it in the summer trying to catch bugs. That's when the bugs are out. So it's hot out and my phone is super overworked. Not only is it filming, but it's also sending data constantly. So the phone literally overheated and just shut off randomly.
Shit.
So yeah, those are the two main hangups. If I can work those out, I'll definitely be doing that a lot more. There's a few options I have. There's like some streamer backpacks that people do.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like I know absolutely nothing about that, but like in my mind it would be something like you have like a GoPro on your head or something like that, on your chest or on your head, and then you have a laptop in your bag with like one of those rocket sticks or whatever to get the internet. Like
yeah. So that's definitely going to be my go-to for that. And then I'll have to get some good camera equipment and have like some.
You know what you need is a camera crew.
That would be great. Yeah, if I could hire a camera crew, that'd be hype.
Damn, that would be insane, dude. Hire Binging with Babish and Buttered Side Down, dude. You'd be Casey Neistat. You'd be out here.
Right. Yeah, I can see in the chat people are saying Gun Run's backpack. Yeah, that's the that's the classic streamer go-to backpack. But yeah, camera crew would be good, and I guess I have the means to do it, so I could try that.
Hi, Tizu here. We're out in the wilderness catching insects to add to our Pokedex.
Yep. Oh, what a Sheila! Oh, isn't this one a beauty?
Nice. That's dude. I honestly think like that type of live stream would be really cool, especially if you're really passionate about it. Like if you know a lot about that type of stuff, like the bug hunting and getting insects, and you can actually use some of your knowledge there. I think that's such a great application of it.
I would love to be that guy. That'd be really fun to be the first like actual wildlife educational live channel on Twitch.
Man, if you had something like, I'm even imagining like because imagine if primitive technology had like a live stream, like a 10-hour live stream of him doing everything that he was doing live.
Dude, I've thought about that. Like if I could do what he does, like straight up go into the wilderness and just be myself and try to survive, and then also edit it to look like a game. It was so on brand and it was so funny.
it would be a really good idea. I think yeah, definitely give that some more thought, because I think that's one of those like long-term plans. I think be really cool. I think it's funny that you're like, oh, go into the wilderness and be myself, because I was just thinking like, yeah, I'm just gonna go into my room and be myself in front of the computer.
I guess I could do that too.
That's gonna be my lifestyle reveal. So then related to that, like what are you thinking for your sort of future plans for your channel? Like one of the local residents here Giraffester asked, do you plan on branching out from the current style of videos you're doing? And I guess like an extension of that is like, do you plan on doing things like live streaming, like you're saying, or like what's your either ambition, goal, or hope for like say the next, maybe 2 or 3 to 5 years for the channel?
Right. Yeah, that's a really good question because, of course, eventually I'm just going to straight up run out of animals to talk about and just have to either retread stuff that I've already done or like just stop making videos. And so I don't want to do that. I don't want to, of course. And so my plan, one of the things that I want to try, I don't know, this is kind of an experiment, is what I want to do is just film, like try to do my own wildlife filming. And then like just follow an animal. What I did is I bought a drone. And this drone, what I got, what it can do is it has this like auto track feature that can stay, it can stay the same distance and automatically follow an object or something on the screen. And so it kind of looks like a third person action camera from a video game.
Holy shit.
And so if I could get that to follow an animal, I could, follow it throughout its day. And then eventually like do kind of like what I was talking about before for myself, do like a parody of a Let's Play where I'm narrating this animal's actions, and do it with like this whole heads-up display, video game graphics and everything. I think that could be a lot more sustainable if I could do my own filming, and have it be totally unique content to me. By the way, chat, none of you guys are able to steal this idea. This is proprietary.
No, they're not allowed. Yeah, copyrighted.
Yeah, come out of here.
That's illegal. No stealing it.
Exactly. So yeah, that's one of the things that I'm working on right now. So in terms of branching out, absolutely. Of course, like the formula that I'm working with right now, as good as it is, it will get stale and I can't keep doing it forever. So yeah, definitely going to have to branch out.
Damn, yeah, because I feel like there is a lot of longevity to it in the sense that like, I feel like, your channel can go for quite a while. The part that I was thinking too is like, would you ever think of branching out into other categories of ranking systems? Like what's stopping you from doing like like a more, I mean, not really BuzzFeedy because that's the wrong word, but like doing something instead of animals, just being like ranking different places that you'd visit, or like ranking different food, or ranking different like date spots, or like all that type of shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are all options too. I think since I do want to be an educational YouTuber, I'd want to stick within the realm of something
it's a crutch. It's a crutch, Patrick.
You might be right. Like if I wanted to, if I have to make like a tier potato chips, I can do that.
Holy shit, dude! If you did top 10 potato chip flavors and if you ranked potato chips, dude, that's front page material. I'm dead fucking serious. If you were like, I was a food scientist, I'm from Tier Zoo, and I am now ranking different types of potato chips that you buy off the shelf. That I'm telling you, that's some prime material.
All right. Well, if
you can steal that idea.
All right. If there are patrons in the chat, let me know if you guys would like me to branch out into other shenanigans besides animals. Also, I am definitely going to be doing things besides animals, though, like plants, like bacteria, viruses. Those are all on the table. I'm definitely working on episodes about that.
If you did top 10, not top 10, because I'm thinking of most extreme. If you ranked carnivorous plants, that would be a banger, dude.
That'd be fun. Yeah. Frank, I don't know if you've seen that channel, but he did an episode pretty recently about carnivorous plants. And so that, like, I was actually planning on writing an episode about that, but he kind of beat me to the punch. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll let that like topic matter simmer for a bit before I revisit that, since he just covered it.
Damn.
But yeah, I think it's been long enough at this point that I could definitely do it.
That would be a great video, man. I think that'd be a great video. I'm only saying this because when I was a kid, I used to have Venus flytraps.
Dude, same.
Fucking nice, dude. Did you ever have those sundew plants that have like the...
I did. I had sundews, I had Venus flytraps, I had...
pitcher plants.
Yeah, those are the three things at like Stein's Gardens and Gifts.
Got them, dude. So, good times. Good childhood memories. Right. Okay, let me see. Where are we going to go here? Let me see what I have. Give me 1 second here. I got to ask you this question because this one always, I'm sure you get this a trillion times, but do you have a sort of favorite type of video to make, as in what types of animals you're doing? Or also, do you feel like you cater to the audience, or do you mostly think, what would you like to see?
I think I kind of alternate between the two. Like there's definitely been a lot of videos that my audience absolutely did not ask for, that I said, no, you guys are getting this, you're going to deal with it. But there's also been a lot of them where it's like, okay, my audience has requested this topic for a long time, so I'll talk about the honey badger finally, or I'll talk about killer whales finally. And those videos do tend to do better.
Right.
So there's been some that haven't been requested that I ended up doing. Like I did the one about like the Permian extinction, which is like the extinction that led to the existence of the dinosaurs, like right when they first showed up. And that one wasn't really requested, but I did that, and that one ended up doing really well. Yeah.
I think I always find this, like, at least for me, I find it very hard to predict what videos are going to do well or not.
I totally agree. And even when it comes to like asking your audience what they'll watch, I think they're almost always wrong.
Oh God, it's so
like,
true.
Like, I think the only thing that I can ask an audience that they'll give me a good answer that I can use is, what title will you click on and which thumbnail is best?
Yeah.
Those work really well. So like sometimes I'll do on like the YouTube community tab, I'll go like, hey, which title do you guys like the best? And then I'll use whichever one gets voted the most. And that works really well. But like when it comes to the subject matter I've like had votes going on for different topics. And I think one of the ones that they picked was like the deep ocean.
Ooh, yeah.
And I'm like, man, there's like no footage of anything down there. You can't, like, it's super high pressure. It's dark. I don't know what you guys are expecting of that one. So I did the best I could with it, and it did like fine, but it didn't, like, for how well it upvoted it definitely did not like perform to that extent.
It seems like a hard video to execute well on too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I found, like, at least whenever I ask people for suggestions, like, I think people give, generally speaking, pretty good suggestions when, like, say, I like asking on Reddit, because if you ask on Reddit, like, it's an upvote system. So people will list it and then people will upvote it. And at least I find that does fairly well compared to, like, if you just ask people to reply in like a Twitter comment or, you know, private message you or in a stream or something like that. Like, people write really specific stuff that's sort of relevant to them. Like, they'll be like, we should do one on Formula One racing. And I'm like, I don't think I should do one on Formula One racing, even though that sort of prompts me to go look at Formula One racing and get really into it and think it's pretty neat. But it's like a lot of people have very, very niche interests, and it's like you're trying to reconcile a niche interest with a very broad topic. So, like, I always find, like, if you're making a video, like, say for me, like making one on video games in general, it's like being able to make those niche references, like say, oh, here's a really niche Smash Bros reference that shows that I actually really do know a lot about the community, about the game. Like, those ones really hit people, which combines like the broad with the niche. And I feel like those are really good.
People love that. Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes what I do is, like, I feel like if I get suggestions that are like a bunch of really niche suggestions, like, someone's like as an example, I thought it was funny. I was talking to like one of my mom's friends at one point at a family dinner or something. And she was like, you should do one on dating for women over 50. And I was like, okay, I think you might be projecting there a little bit, but like,
right. Good luck with that. Yeah.
But it's like, whenever I ask people like, oh, would you like to see a video on? And people are like, oh, I think you should do one on, like, like they'll do like an, is he into you? Or like a like date spots or something like that. And then like, they're all like weird kind of like, oh, these are too specific. But then you're like, oh, well, like 8 out of the 10 people that I asked said something related to like dating. And I'm like, oh, well, I should start thinking of something related to that general topic. Or, someone's like, oh, video games or like memes or like, 4chan. And I'm like, oh, all of these have in common is like internet culture. Like, is that something is a more broad category? But yeah, I totally agree with you. It's pretty hard to sort of crowdsource too much. You also feel kind of guilty because you're like, we'll let the audience do the work,
Yeah. It's funny. One of the suggestions that I get probably like almost once a day in my Twitter DMs is, hey, you should make a video about who would win between a gorilla and a bear.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, there's no videos of that. Like, unless I'm going to animate it, that video can never exist.
That's why you need the drone footage, dude. And your own zoo.
And yes, exactly. And my own gorilla and bear, with which to pit in a gladiatorial fight to the death.
For the record, it would be a bear, right? A bear would definitely win, right?
Oh, 100%. I mean, those things are like twice the size of gorillas.
Yeah, and they have like giant knives for hands.
Exactly. Like, they're just solid muscle, whereas a gorilla, like, gorillas don't need to kill to eat. They eat like grass and bamboo.
They eat fucking leaves, dude. It doesn't make
exactly.
Doesn't make any sense.
They're all show. I mean, sure, they're definitely beefy and they'll mess you up if you mess with them, but for a bear, like that's child's play, I think, honestly.
That would get views though.
It would. So I think like if I have to do it, like I'm gonna have to hire an animator.
You should find an intermediary species that can go and fight both of those animals and see how well it does against each one. Like you. You should go and fight a bear
Okay.
and then
I will go fight both creatures. And then the person who I will my channel to will make the video. And that'll be that.
That'd be wild, dude. You should run a competition and the winner of the contest gets to be that person. And you could have an arena, you could have a gladiator. Yeah. That's a great idea. Okay.
That's fantastic. You're right. All right.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. I don't think I have too many other things that I really wanted to touch on. I think we actually got through almost everything that I was like thinking of. Oh man. Okay. This is pretty important. So I saw you tweet a while ago that you had a list of your top 10 games.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And your number 1 was old school RuneScape. And your number 2 was Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. And your number 3 was Sid Meier's Civilization 5. Can you please justify those top 3 rankings?
Oh, well, I mean, I think it's pretty self-evident if you watch my videos that like RuneScape and video games that I reference the most.
Mm-hmm.
So those are both very near and dear to my heart. I mean, especially RuneScape, like just growing up, all of my friends played it. We would talk about it all the time. We were always on training, leveling up, fighting stuff together. And so like that game is just so close to my heart.
So true.
And it's just one of those games that I just straight up I can't quit. Like I've quit multiple times and I always come back to play again. Like I've literally right now, like people have asked me before, hey, do you still play RuneScape? And I would say no, except for like within the past week where I just had to get back into it because there's this one YouTuber that's just been making godlike RuneScape content that made me want to play again.
Is it Critical?
So no, Critical's great too.
Yeah.
But it's this one dude. His YouTube channel is called Settled, and he's doing this series called Swampletics, where he's playing an Ultimate Iron Man, which means you can't trade or use a bank. And he's playing within the confines of the swamp section of the RuneScape map. And so he's like having to come up with all these ridiculous solutions to problems that would like not trouble any regular RuneScaper. And it's just so interesting and he made me want to like go try all this crap myself. So I had to go do that.
Damn. So are you trying that same challenge? Are you doing another challenge?
No, absolutely not. Because he has to put in like hours and hours and hours to like level up once. It's absolutely absurd. If you watch the stuff, like this dude is just absolutely putting in days and days to level up like a few times just to get his one goal that he's working towards. It's pretty insane. And it's so interesting to watch. So I just had to get back into RuneScape just to like check those. Yeah.
Is this old school RuneScape?
Yeah. I haven't played the regular RuneScape
in me neither.
A long time.
Did you so like for you, I don't know, like how many hours a week would you put in right now? I guess you only just got back into it, but
I mean, what's awesome about RuneScape is that at least when you're training, you train while working. That's one of the things I've been doing is like I'll go to like one of the training spots and just click on a monster and then just go back to editing. And then 10 minutes later, when the monsters have stopped attacking me because they've like gotten used to my presence.
God.
Yeah, it's great. So that's my day to day.
That was even like I was playing Fortnite with Critical and he was fucking crafting tables while we were
dude, yeah,
rotating.
That's the RuneScape life, dude. Critical knows what's up. The term that they use is no XP waste, man. If you're doing something else, you're wasting XP. You could be leveling up right now.
God damn it. So like what level are your stats? What are your highest stats? Or what level are you in? Like do you have like some 99s in there?
Oh, absolutely not. No, I've never even got a 90. I only recently got back into it like a week and a half ago. So I've gotten some to 70 just by like AFKing. But yeah, nothing beyond that. Because that just takes, not only does it take a ton of time, but it takes a ton of like GP and RuneScape too.
Damn. All right. Fucking casuals out here.
So that's RuneScape. For Smash Bros, that's definitely like the video game community that I'm most associated with.
So good.
Yeah. A lot of my friends are like in the Smash community. I went to the Smash convention. I interact with a lot of the pro Smash players on Twitter.
Oh shit.
I'm friends with them. And so like, sorry, what?
Oh no, sorry. I was just gonna ask, did you get to meet like some of the what pros did you get to meet that you interact with? I'm really interested in that.
Oh yeah. So I did get to briefly talk to HBox.
Nice.
I'm pretty good friends with ESAM. I met Larry Lur. Larry Lur trained me a little bit while I was there, so that was good. Gave
Oh
me some
shit. Yeah,
lessons.
that's good.
Right. Um, and let's see, probably a few others that I'm blanking on right now.
Did you get to meet any of
Oh,
the melee guys? Oh, sorry. Who?
oh, I was gonna say DeBuzz.
Oh,
I think the only melee guy I met was Hungrybox.
right.
I think I've briefly interacted with Plup too, but I don't think anybody else. I don't think I've talked to like Leffen
Man.
or
Oh man.
Armada or anything.
Did you were you ever into melee at all?
No, melee was definitely like before my time when it comes to Smash Bros. Um, like I definitely played it as a little kid, just like at my friend's house, but I never had a GameCube. The first Smash Bros that I got was the Brawl, and I definitely put hundreds and hundreds of hours playing like my neighborhood friends in that game. But none of us were any good at it. Like we didn't even know to like to use the shield button or anything. It was pretty
Oh
bad.
my god, dude! Yeah, no, it's funny. I can't believe you haven't played. You haven't been in the melee, dude. Melee. Oh shit! So I guess you don't care that melee's out of Evo.
I mean, like I care in that like I don't want the community to be divided on thing.
Hmm.
But no, like I've had a blast watching melee. Like I've watched plenty of
Oh right. Okay. Okay.
the
Okay.
melee tournaments.
Yeah. Same.
One
Okay.
of the most
Then we're
recent
okay.
ones I watched. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we're good. Yeah, I know. I follow the competitive scene of melee, but I don't play. It's too technical for me. I
Totally.
can't really get into it.
No, I'm the same. I'm trash. So
Yeah,
so we can agree on that. Okay, that's good. So then
yeah,
so do you have a big history with Civ as well? Like did you just find that game really fun?
yeah. I think during college that was one of the games that I wasted the most time on when I should have been studying.
Mm.
I used to refer to that game as a literal time machine because I'd start a game and I thought it'd be like, oh, I've probably been playing for like an hour, and it'd be like 8 hours later. My roommate would come back and be like, dude, you've been playing all day. I'd be like, don't worry about it. Just go back to go back to doing what you were
Shit,
doing.
dude. Okay, so that just reminded me when you said roommate. What's your current living situation right now? This is kind of going back to subjects a bit, but like, do you find that like say the money that you make from YouTube and the sponsorships and integrations, like you have a wildly different lifestyle than you used to have?
uh, well, I guess I live alone now, so
Is that
yeah.
better or worse?
Well, okay, honestly, I don't think I could do YouTube without it. Like
True.
I would be so uncomfortable like narrating a YouTube video and recording the audio for a YouTube video with like someone else in who could hear me. Because I'd be like messing up my lines, be like, oh, okay, let me say that another 12 times.
Dude, I just gotta.
And,
Dude, I'm so really sorry. I have to interrupt you because
yeah, what's up?
I went to New York with my friend Jimmy, and he might be in the chat right now. And I was recording a few lines for a video, and he was like, "Oh, just do it, dude. Like, I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet. It's not a big deal, dude. I'll be quiet." And I'm like, "No, Jimmy, it's just really
Yeah,
hard to
okay.
do it because I'm gonna screw it up a few times, and it's just gonna be really embarrassing." And he's like, "No, dude, no, it's fine, dude. I understand. Like, go ahead." And so I was like, well, I started just like, coffee is the most common beverage consumed in North. Coffee is the most consumed, and then Jimmy's just filming me. He's fucking Instagram storying
Right,
this
of
shit,
course. That's so
and then I'm like North, and he's like, and I'm like, fuck you, dude. And he's like, oh, sorry, my bad. And I was like, shit. But sorry to interrupt. So yeah, you're dead
No,
fucking on, man.
exactly. Like that's so uncomfortable. And so like I could definitely live with someone if they had a different schedule than me, which of course they would because I work at home. So I guess I could just do it when they're at work. But I don't know. It is nice to just live alone, I think.
I think so. I think that's very true. Do you find that
Yeah.
you're doing different? I mean, I love living by myself. I think it's so great, especially like because my previous was like I was living at home, so it let me move out. But
Mhm.
do you find that the as far as your lifestyle, like are you living it up? Are you hitting the big, going to the big YouTube conventions, going to the gaming conventions, spending all the big bucks, blowing it on bottle service and stuff?
So on one hand, I haven't like moved. I didn't upgrade. I didn't like get a new car. I didn't upgrade my apartment or anything.
Hmm.
So I haven't really upgraded my living situation or my like standard of living much. On the other hand, I did just like go to the Bahamas with a bunch of other YouTubers just for kicks.
Bro.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that like agency that I work with, we had just like a trip that we decided to randomly go on,
Holy
and
shit.
so it was great. I was like roommates with Salmonella. It was a blast.
What? What's he like? What the fuck?
Dude.
Does he work with you guys?
Yeah, dude, he's like the chillest dude ever. Honestly.
Oh, is he actually
Super
really
fun.
chill?
Yeah, super fun guy.
Dude, I gotta do some stuff like that. My lifestyle hasn't changed at all. I spend more money on rent and I have a second monitor. That's all that's different.
There you go, dude.
Dude, what am I gonna do? I don't know, man.
So that and buying the drone were my two most extravagant purchases when it comes to YouTube. But yeah, besides that, still just living it up in my regular apartment.
Damn, yeah, dude, that's the lifestyle, man. That's the lifestyle. Okay, all right. We better wind it down a little bit. Take some questions from the chat, but first, I'm gonna ask you one more question.
Sure.
Hang on, give me a sec. I wrote it down because I was like, this is a good question to end with, but I think I probably asked it already. I've been kind of just freestyling it this whole time. I think it's been good just chatting. Oh no. There's nothing in particular really here, but I guess we'll end it with what do you is there anything that you're really like excited about right now for your YouTube channel, your life in general, that is sort of on the horizon?
Well, I mean, VidCon's coming up in a few months, I guess. So that's really hype. I really liked VidCon last year, so I'm pretty pumped for it. Yeah, anytime I get to see other YouTubers is just always great. Besides that, I mean, the channel's doing really well, and the stuff that we talked about, like during summer, I'm going to be doing more streaming, and I'm going to be branching out my content. And so I'm really excited to experiment with that and see where that goes. Yeah, so I think that's probably what I would say for that question.
That's awesome. That sounds like a blast. Are there any YouTubers in particular that you really want to meet that you haven't met, or any plans in particular?
Oh yeah, so I think there's actually only a few that at this point that I like, YouTubers that I'm a huge fan of that I haven't met yet. I think two that come to mind are Coyote Peterson from the Brave Wilderness channel.
Oh my god.
And if I ever met him, I'd just like drop dead probably. Dude, like he's amazing.
I have a picture of Jimmy with the Coyote Peterson.
Are you serious? Dude?
It could have been Jimmy. You, dude. It could have been you. But
dude, I'm so jealous. I actually like missed his talk at Vid. He was doing a talk and I was late. I was like 15 minutes late and they're like, shut. Dang, man.
Bro. No, you'll get that one, dude. 100%. I think that'd be a really cool one. Sorry, the other person?
Yeah, so him and also Matt Pat, the Game Theorists.
Oh, yeah. That'd be a good one too. Okay, yeah. How about PewDiePie? Have you met PewDiePie?
I've not met PewDiePie.
I want to meet PewDiePie. I think he seems chill. I'd hang out.
Dude, okay.
Yeah, that's about it. I don't have any.
Cool.
There's no one that I really want to be. Okay, all right. We better call it there. This has gone for a while, so we'll get a few questions from the chat, if you don't mind, Pat.
Sure.
All right. If anyone has any questions in the chat, feel free to ask one, and I will field questions. And I guess you're taking a look, so you can look too, Patch.
Is Bob Shimmy Shimmy? Is that Jimmy?
Bobimmy Shimmy? Yeah, that's Jimmy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He says he met him. So weird. Coyote Peterson is so weird. Oh no.
I don't really remember him very well because we basically were just like, oh, can we get a picture? Because Jimmy knew him, and I just remember him being like kind of like wholesome weird. I don't know if that was right, but Jimmy can correct me if I'm wrong.
That actually lines up with some of the other things people have told me. I was talking the Diana who runs the channel Physics Girl, and she was telling me that like Coyote Peterson immediately upon like meeting her like dove in and was like, okay, let's talk about your channel. What could you be doing better? What are you doing well?
Oh no!
It's like, dude, we like just met. Why are you coming in on me like that?
Oh man, that's funny.
So like, I'm afraid to meet him if he's gonna like just drill me on my YouTube game.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I'd be worried about that too. Okay, so we'll take Giraffe's question. What other topics interest you other than animals and video games? Do you have any interesting hobbies? Also, are you tired of people asking you what tier their favorite animal is?
Oh man, I actually really like it when people ask me what tier their favorite animal is,
What
because I
tier?
have like the so
Sorry, I was
what
just
were you
gonna.
gonna
What
ask?
tier are ducks?
Ducks, man. I mean, they're like just a mini goose, right? And so, what
They're
did I say
nicer though.
for? They are nicer, and so that's kind of a nerf in some ways,
They
right?
thrive on
But
friendliness and being fed
that's
by
true.
nice people.
Exactly. So they're basically screwed if people don't help them out.
Yeah, I'd put them
I don't
in.
know. It
I put
doesn't
them
seem
in D
like.
tier. Are they D tier?
Yeah,
I think they're D
I think
tier.
that's exactly what I would say.
D
Actually,
for
probably.
ducks. There it is.
Yep.
Okay, sorry, but you have a. What was it about when people ask you their favorite animal ranking?
Oh yeah, I actually don't mind it at all. I mean, I have like the template for like my stat chart thing ready to go. It's just like a graphic that I can edit really easily.
Mm.
And so like a lot of times when people ask me that, I'll just like straight up send them a little graphic.
Oh, that's so nice.
And what was the other question?
Oh, I'll scroll back up. It was, do you have any things that interest you other than animals and video games? Do you have any interesting hobbies?
Oh, okay. Let's see. I think the getting into drone filming thing, that's been pretty interesting
That
lately.
sounds pretty crazy. I think that's going to be really fun.
I'm also really into Magic the Gathering. I don't know if that's too close to video games, but
no, that's
the one thing that I actually did. So at Frostbite, Smash Bros tournament and everything, there was also a Magic the Gathering side event. That was the only thing I won, but I did win that entire thing.
You won the whole side event?
Yeah, dude.
What the fuck? How do you do that? Yeah. How much? Okay, hold up. Like, how big was this side event?
It was actually not that big. There was not very many people there. But
that's so sick, though.
Yeah, I was happy with it. Yeah, I played this deck. Mono Blue runs this Genie card. That's my big winner. Is
damn.
Genie.
I honestly don't know anything about Magic, but I'm still impressed.
This card gets memed up a bunch because of the new Aladdin trailer. People have been photoshopping the Will Smith Genie onto this card.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's probably the one other go-to thing I guess I could say, besides just like fitness recently. I don't know.
Getting in shape. What do you do? Do you run or do you lift or what do you? Are you when you were describing before, you cut out a little bit, and I thought you might have said you go to a class, but you cut out. So I just didn't. I didn't mention.
So I hired a personal trainer, and this trainer has me doing interval training, basically. So just like short bursts of intense workout, and then relax, and then do it again for half an hour to an hour.
Nice.
Yes, that's been good.
That's good. Yep. Are you making those gains or gains
Dude, honestly, not as much as I would like. I don't know. I think it's honestly probably my diet. I should eat better.
gotta eat big to get big, dude. That's how it goes.
Exactly, dude. I gotta lay off the Lucky Charms, man.
Dude, yeah, just eat more Lucky Charms, dude. That's where that's where it comes from.
There's a question in this chat. How did Carnivores 2 get on your top 10 game list? I'm from Argentina. I used to play when I was a kid. You're the first person I've ever heard mention it. See, that is exactly why I mentioned it, because it's my favorite game from childhood. So if you're looking it up right now.
So I am.
Carnivores 2 is a game where you hunt dinosaurs. And it was like one of the first games to ever do something like that. I think it came out even before Turok.
Holy shit, it looks like Doom, but dinosaurs.
Yeah, and so it's not like an action game at all. It's very much like a hunting sim where you have to like be stealthy and you take your one shot, and if you miss, it's either going to run away and you're never going to find it, or it's going to come kill you.
Wow. Okay.
And so so that game was a major part of me. I think it was actually the first game I ever played, the first video game. Not Carnivores 2, Carnivores 1, but Carnivores 2 is just a strictly better upgrade of Carnivores 1. So,
came out in 1998. How old were you when you played it?
Probably like 4 or 5, I guess. I was born in 94.
Wow.
I guess I would have been 5 or 6. Yeah, dude, that's the actual first game I ever played was Carnivores. And I'm like, oh, okay, here's a game with Stegosaurus and T-Rex and stuff in it. So like right off the bat, I'm already getting really into dinosaurs and paleontology, even if it is about like shooting them. It was still really cool to like learn about the dinosaurs.
Damn, dude, that's crazy. I feel like back when I was that age, I was playing like Hooked on Phonics and like Math Blaster and shit. I wanted to be hunting dinosaurs. That's so cool.
Hmm.
Damn.
Dude, Math Blasters, that game is so hyped too.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I know, dude. That should have been in your
That
top 10. What were you
that
thinking?
actually, yeah, actually, you're right. I should put that one in the top
You
10 as well. I
really
used to rent that
should.
game.
Oh my god.
Seriously, go
It's
to the public library.
so
Yeah.
good, man. No, that would be good. That would be
Mhm.
really good. Okay,
Oh,
hang
dude,
on.
here's a great question from the chat.
Okay, yeah,
Who
just take it.
resembles their stick figure character more, Salmonella or Jamie? Okay, so I'm not gonna dox you or anything,
Uh-oh.
Jamie, but Salmonella. When I met him, he didn't look like the stick figure because he didn't have long hair, but he showed me
Mm.
his ID. I asked him this. I was like, bro, you don't like really look like your stick figure guy. And he busts out his ID. And he's like, bro, check this out. He pulls out his ID, and it's like spot on. Like
Damn, really?
super long hair, yeah, real skinny dude with super long hair. I'm like, dude, it's a spitting image of you, honestly,
That's
man.
wild, man. So
So
self-aware.
yeah, it was great. Yeah,
That's really good. I'm glad you didn't comment on me. That's good. We can leave it like that.
yeah. I'm not gonna dox you.
Okay, hype. Hang on. I saw a question here I wanted to ask you, but
Sure.
um, oh, why did you decide to pursue microbiology in college?
Oh, so microbiology, among all of like the biological sciences, I think microbiology and immunology to some extent as well are the two that are like most on the forefront of discovery right now. Like you keep hearing all these things
Mm.
about like CRISPR-Cas9. That's the big gene editing protein that was just discovered, and that was discovered by a microbiologist who was studying the immune system of the Streptococcus bacteria, I think, or
Mhm.
no, Staphylococcus actually. But yeah, the thing that causes scarlet fever, I think, is what it is.
Get your vaccines, kids.
Yeah, and so yeah, for whatever reason, they were just doing regular exploratory discovery study on this thing, and they discovered this amazing protein. And so, like, just there's countless stories of things like that in the microbiology field. And so I felt like, I could study, like entomology or just basic biology, wildlife ecology, or something like that. But when it comes to like what's really being discovered right now, if I want to learn the newest stuff that like is only been discovered within the last like 10 or so years, microbiology and immunology are the places to be, I think. And at the same time, I also kind of wanted to go to med school. This is before I even like went to college. My dad's a doctor, and he, of course, like, so coming from a family of doctors, my parents were like pushing me, oh, you could be a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, yeah, I'll be a doctor. I'll do something like medical related. Microbiology, of course, pertains to disease, and so um, that's part of the factor. But yeah, I think just the cutting edge of science, I think, rests a lot with microbiology. So that was a big factor in that decision.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Do you still follow much of that kind of stuff nowadays, or have any ambition to go back and sort of revisit that at some point in your life?
Yeah, I actually I applied to while I was working for Jack Links. I applied. I actually didn't get in. I applied to some like really high level microbiology PhD programs.
An S tier PhD program?
Yeah, basically. And
Yeah.
like realistically, if I was smart, I would have applied to a bunch of programs like what normal grad students do is they'll apply to like.
See, this is
basically
like
cast a
you
wide
have
net.
one successful YouTube channel and it goes straight to your ego, dude. You're like, if it's not
Yeah,
Ivy
exactly.
League, it's not worth my time.
Exactly. And so like, yeah, I gave that a try. But since I didn't get in, and then like after I didn't get in, my channel like really exploded. So I'm like, well, I mean, at this point, it would be kind of foolish of me to put this on the back burner. So I might as
Yeah.
well like ride this wave. And then like once this collapses out from under me, this whole house of cards that I built, once this fades away,
Mhm.
I'll start applying again, be like, hey, I was famous.
You're-
you should hire me.
Damn, you're speaking the truth, man. I always feel like, for me, when I dropped out, and this is like after 1 year of school, so, obviously not a big commitment there, but, I always felt like YouTube is something that if you give it a good go and like you're like, oh, I'm going to split my time between school and YouTube, and then your YouTube kind of collapses. You're just thinking like, oh God, you know, I could have always come back to school, but I can't come back to this. You know, you have your kind
Yeah.
of one shot sometimes. So I feel like you're, you know, obviously a good choice. I think it's kind of cool because, you know, you kind of do what you're doing here and you can explore all these different avenues, like with your, you know, your drone footage or your streaming and that type of stuff. And then if that, for whatever reason, either that's going to be an even bigger career move, or it's just going to be its own little thing at the scale that it is, and you can sort of rethink going to school if you really, really want to go back into that. And if it's something that you're passionate about, that's just going to be really fun.
Yeah, I think so too. Like if YouTube ends up being only one chapter in my whole life, I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I definitely love it. Like I don't want it to end, of course.
And you're still going to wear the merch, dude.
Oh, you better believe it, man.
Fucking nice, dude. I gotta get some of your. Can people buy your merch anywhere?
Yeah, dude. It's on. I'll post a link in the chat.
Oh wait, it's gonna go on YouTube too, so you should say it out loud. If there's like a
oh
website.
sure. So if you go to standard.tv, that's the agency that I work with. Hashtag Smart YouTuber Mafia. If you find my logo on this page, you can click on it and it'll say view channel or view store. And if you click on view store, you got some fun merch. My favorite thing that I have is the pin.
Those are great, man. The pins are
really
always so
shiny
good.
metallic pin, and it works super well with my logo. Honestly,
You don't have a mug though, do you?
I do totally have a mug actually.
Well, I mean,
If you go to the page-
sorry, I was about to plug my own mug. what I mean is a 3D mug of your own head. Do you have one?
I do not have a 3D mug of my own head.
Okay, hang on. Let me just find your thing. I want to find it. Where are you on the page? How far down? I'm having a hard. Oh, here it is. You're right next to Salmonella. That's interesting because you're roommates
Dude, let's go.
at the Bahamas. Oh, so you got the pin. Oh, that is a sick pin. Oh, you do have a mug. All right, but this is just a regular mug.
It is. Yeah, my merch is pretty limited right now. Aside from the pin, I'm really.
Who the fuck is this guy? That's not you.
Oh, dude, that's Mike Boyd, the YouTuber.
Oh, I don't know who. I've heard Mike Boyd. I don't know who he is though. Oh, this is a great mug. Meta Evolved. Oh, that's so good.
Thanks. Yeah, shout out to Mike Boyd, dude. You've probably seen one of they show up on Reddit.
I'm sure I have.
He does
man. He sounds so
He
familiar.
does like this series where it's like he'll try to learn a skill as quick as he can, and he'll time himself how long it takes him to figure it out.
Fuck, dude. This is an idea I had like 8 years ago. When did he start?
Beat you to the punch. I think probably like 5 years ago. So I don't know.
3 years ago. Learning to kickflip in 5 hours and 47 minutes, dude. Jimmy. Oh, sorry. This is an inside joke I have with Jimmy. That I told Jimmy that I could learn to kickflip in 72 hours, and he didn't believe me. And then he showed me this video. Dude, oh my god. Sorry, I had this idea of making a YouTube channel called Human RPG about 5 years ago, and that's what
awesome.
it would do. I would be learning skills like in a fucking Christ, god damn it. I feel like it's the execution that matters though. He looks like he's doing a really good job too. Shit. Okay, sorry, I just had to work through some emotions there. Thanks for being there for me.
Right. Anytime, dude. So yeah, there's the merch. That's what I got for you.
That's great. We'll put a link to that in the video too. Okay, so we're going back to the questions. We'll probably answer just maybe one or two more, and then we better call it a day. Let's see. So if there's anything that you see in there, if you're taking a look, feel free to read it out loud and answer as you were. Oh, you have a favorite book?
Okay. Good question.
While you're thinking, I can answer mine because the person asked it to both of us. But my favorite book, I'm similar to Patrick in the sense that I'm also into insects. I'm into classifying things on a 1 to 10 list, which is why my favorite book is The Very Hungry Caterpillar, because it is a 1 to 10 story and it's about an insect. And I think people should really know that if they've been to the stream, but that's my answer.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to think of something good. I mean, I don't know. It's been a long time since I've read any books.
Yeah, dude, same.
This is embarrassing, dude.
All right, no, I'm the same. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite any source of media that you've seen? Any like really good YouTube videos or movies or anything you've seen recently? Because I also have nothing to add to this.
Oh man. Okay, I think my favorite piece of media would probably be like the Walking with Dinosaurs series.
Oh, that's so good.
BBC, from like this is like 99 or something like that. 2001. I don't know.
Yeah, I used to watch those on VHS.
Dude, I remember like literally taping. I would tape those off of the Discovery Channel. I would get my mom to like
God,
get a
that's
blank
high
VHS
level.
tape so I could just have those. And yeah, I remember like, oh my god, the memories.
Did
That's
you?
why I
Oh,
feature those all the time in my videos now, just because of
yeah, I've seen them. That's where I've seen them. Yeah.
yeah. So
Uh,
yeah, my videos are definitely somewhat of a love letter to those really old
it's so
dinosaur documentaries.
so good. Did you? What was I gonna say? Shit. Oh, did you play the Jurassic Park video games? The most recent Jurassic Park video game, or any of the previous ones?
I played a lot of them. I actually, yeah. So when I was a little kid, I played. There's this one called Scan Command, where you had
Mm.
like a freaking barcode reader, and you'd have to like scan little like soup cans, and you'd get DNA on your barcode reader. And you plug that into your computer, and you could like level up your dinosaurs with that, and then you'd fight dinosaurs in this video game on the computer. That's probably the first Jurassic Park game I played.
That sounds
I was also a
interesting.
huge fan of the Jurassic Park Operation Genesis for
Yeah,
the
I played that one.
PS2.
I played that one. That was good.
I used to rent that from like Family Video all the time and play it like overnight with my friends at like sleepovers and stuff. We would just like get to the point where we couldn't unlock velociraptors, then we just unleash them all on our poor park guests.
Man, I feel like there's not enough dinosaur video games.
You are absolutely right.
This is just
I did
such an
play.
unexplored genre.
There's been a lot of attempts. I don't think it's been done well recently.
I
Like
agree.
there's
Yeah.
definitely like there's Ark, I think, whereas it's like a
Hmm.
survival game where you can like train, you can tame dinosaurs. I was like, okay, I'm not that big a fan of it. There's I think there's one called which is like some early access alpha thing where you play as a dinosaur, but it's like I don't know. I've looked at some gameplay of it. It looks pretty
Yeah.
like shoddy, I guess. I mean, it looks like an early access game, which you'd expect.
Yeah.
Um,
I really just want to see like a Left 4 Dead with dinosaurs, or
yeah,
like a
yeah.
Far Cry or Crisis with dinosaurs. You know, like where they don't really like go too overboard with it, like almost like a Fallout, you know, maybe an RPG, but it's like a dinosaur setting. I feel like everyone's trying to be like, okay, this whole game is about dinosaurs, you know, it's about the
Mhm.
T-Rex, it's about the, and I feel like if you just set it in like a Jurassic era or something like that, where you have like these giant trees and huge dinosaurs in the background, and it's just kind of like, you know, it's the theme of the game rather than the focus of the game. I think that would be so cool.
I agree. Yeah, that would be sweet.
Why aren't we
I guess
game devs?
one
Yeah.
do we should be Blizzard should hire us. Nintendo, get on that. I guess we talked about this a little bit earlier about that video game Carnivores.
Hmm.
If I'm going to recommend any dinosaur game, it's going to be Carnivores. They actually do have it, so it's from the early 2000s PC game, but they actually remade it on mobile phones now. So
Oh,
not sponsored, but if you want to play Carnivores, it's free on the phone. Pretty fun.
wow.
Complete remaster. It's literally the exact same game that it was on computer, but it
Shit.
works really well on the phone.
I'll have to take a look. I mean, it looked like, I feel like all those little games like got good ratings and stuff, so it might be worth a
Mhm.
look.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we better call it a day. Do you want to answer one more question? Do you want to scan the chat if you're taking a look at it and see if there's any one more question that you want to answer that you can
Sure.
choose, and then we'll end it there.
Sure. Yeah, I'll take a look here.
So final chance to get your question if you have any last minute quizzle.
Man, I expected to be spammed with questions. There's not that many people.
No, it's like a
With
30-second slow mode too.
inspirations.
I feel like we covered a
Oh,
lot of
that's
ground.
why. Oh, okay.
I think we covered a lot of ground too.
Yeah. Biggest inspirations. Yeah, I feel like we talked about that. Favorite MTG guild, Selesnya, because it's like animals. Do you play Pokemon? Yes. 50 duck-sized horses or one horse size.
Dude, I just gotta like chime in, dude. Like, I want to fight one horse-sized duck so bad. I would stream the fuck out of it, dude. Yeah, that would be like the most viewed Twitch clip of all time. It's gonna be so great. I just want to be able to kick a giant duck right in the
we'll
right in
have to
the
come up with
feathers.
some sort of genetic engineering to create this. We gotta make this happen.
CRISPR, dude. We can make it
Yeah,
happen.
exactly. We have the technology.
Shit.
Where there's a will, there's a way. Will you rematch Jamie and smash to destroy him again? Of course.
Hold up. That's not right. See me at Evo, dude. Fight me at Evo. Best of 5 money match, dude.
Dude, Melee's not even going to be at Evo, so what are you going to do?
No, we're playing Ultimate, dude. I've been practicing. Loser buys lunch, dude.
All right, you got it. I'm so there.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm actually scared now. I'm probably not going to go.
All right, cool. Well, that could be it for now.
Yep, I think that's pretty good. So we'll call it a podcast. Thank you everyone for tuning in to the Staying In podcast number 3. If you would like to visit Tearzu's channel, you can look that up on YouTube, and I'll post a link in the description. It is Tearzu on YouTube. So thank you for anyone who's viewing this live. These podcasts are on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific at twitch.tv/casuallyexplained. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you, Patrick, for being my guest this week.
Thanks for having me, man. It's been great.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks very much.